I'm telling y'all right now that I'm heading into Texas soon, okay? A lot of y'all know that I work in the field of occupational therapy as a travel therapist, even though I live in the state of Florida, and I'll be heading into Texas soon. If anything like this goes down with me, you guys already know that it's a straight up assassination and nothing else. I feel weird even speaking this way because, remember the whole Sandra Bland thing. If you studied Sandra Bland's whole case, she made a very cryptic video message before she was taken out the way how she left. Understand? So I wake up to another headline that says, cop kills 28-year-old black woman inside her Texas apartment. Let me say this first before I go any further. You don't notice this happening to any Chinese people or Japanese or Asians. You don't notice this happening to Caucasian people. You don't notice this happening to Middle Easterners, even those who wear their traditional hijabs and kufis and robes and wrap themselves and make themselves look exactly as a traditional Muslim on a pilgrim looks, that the picture of terrorism that they have painted for us. You don't see this happening to any of these people, and a lot of them live here. They're free to go to their mosques and rotate inside their communities and whatnot, and they don't get the same treatment and faith that African Americans get or black people in the United States of America get. And I'm going to tell you why maybe in another video. Also, the follow-up to the whole Amber Geiger situation with the young man that testified and then lost his life shortly after. There's a follow-up to that one, and I want you to watch that one on this channel when it comes out as well later on today. But for now, we will go ahead and talk about this story that just happened. So the story says, a black woman was fatally shot by a white Fort Worth, Texas officer inside her home. Early Saturday morning after police were called to the residence for a welfare check, authorities said. Now pause for a minute. For those of you who don't know, a welfare check is if you live across the state or too far away to get there to your family member, you can call a non-emergency number in the United States of America and you can say, hey, my mom lives alone, she's elderly, or my sister lives alone and we haven't heard from her in a week or two. Her phone's not working, she's not answering, and this is someone that we normally speak to every single day. Can you just send a unit by her apartment or her house to do a welfare check? This is all this is. This is not a criminal call. This is a call for help, and not in an emergency fashion. It is, when you get some time, can you please just stop by this address and check on this individual to make sure that everyone there is okay. All right? Okay. The shooting occurred after a neighbor called the police. A neighbor called the police non-emergency line to report that the front door to the house was open, according to the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. So a nosy neighbor saw the front door, we can say a concerned neighbor saw the front door to the house open and called. Now, you're not allowed to leave your front door open because your neighbors might be concerned for your welfare and call the police. I can't even blame the neighbor here, because if my neighbors saw my front door ajar, I would think that my neighbors would be concerned if it's in the middle of the night and they've looked at it a couple of times and it's still ajar. I would think. But then again, maybe I might just be inside my house with my front door open, just letting the breeze roll through because the summer hot days are gone and it's cool and balmy now. Who knows? The shooting occurred after the neighbor called the police non-emergency line to report that the front door to the home was open. I would want to know what time was that call made? How long had the front door been observed open? Those are very two important things. In the body camera video, which I will not show in the body camera video, which has been released by police, two officers searched the home from the outside. So they didn't search the home. They searched the property surrounding the home. But the news media says they searched the home from the outside. You can't search my home from outside. You might be able to look into one or two windows or pry through a crack in a blind somewhere, but that's not searching a home. You search the property surrounding the home from the outside. 2 officers did that with flashlights before one of them shouted, "Put your hands up! Show me your hands!" And then, bam! One shot was fired through a window. Oh my gosh. So here you have 2 officers lurking around your house, right? From the outside of your house. Because someone who lives in your neighborhood called and said, "Hey, their front door is open. Could you go do a wellness check on them?" Was this neighbor a friend? Or was this neighbor someone that had ulterior motives to get this person out of their neighborhood, or just simply did not like them at all? Had this person ever called police to this residence before? These are questions that I'm asking that are going to need to be answered before we can fully establish what took place here. What we do know is 2 police officers were searching, prying into windows from outside the home. I'm sure they have blinds and curtains. They were prying into windows from outside the home. Now, mind you, if I am inside of my home, I have a legal firearm, which I am allowed to have, especially inside of my house. If I see you prying inside of my home with a flashlight in the nighttime and you're holding a gun, I might raise my weapon because I might think that you're about to fire into my home. I don't know who you are, and you are on my property. So, how will they justify this? You fired from the outside of these people's home, through a window, hitting the homeowner. In the body camera video that was released by police, 2 officers searched the home from outside. And like I said, they were prying in windows from outside and they were searching the property surrounding the home. One of them yelled, "Put your hands up! Show me your hands!" Bow! One shot was fired through the window. Let me pause again to say something. When I do these videos, I like to educate, especially people of color, because my people, let's not cut any corners. I like to educate black people. When you are in contact with police officers, when they say put your hands up, I don't move at all. Okay? A lot of the times they're already threatened and frightened for whatever the reasons are. Maybe they were raised a certain way. Maybe they just have an itchy finger and want to kill one of us today. That is my perceived notion. So what I do is, say for instance, if I'm in a car, light comes on behind me, it's a traffic stop, I am asked to pull over, I pull over immediately. What I do next is I have a camera in my car that I set to record. So it will record in and around that part of the vehicle where that officer will be interacting, and I have a high-powered mic on my camera. Now, what I do next is I put both hands on the steering wheel where he or she can see my hands at all times, and I speak to them well-mannered. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, officer. Do you know why I'm pulling you over? No, officer, but may I ask? I'm pulling you over because your tail light's out in the back. Or I'm pulling you over because this is a 30-mile-per-hour zone and you were going 45 back there. Oh, I apologize, officer. Maybe my GPS is broken because my GPS usually tells me how fast I'm going, so I'm not really paying attention to I probably was not paying attention to what the mile sign says on the roadside, how fast I should be going. I apologize. Okay. Are you from around here? No, I'm not, officer. I'm just passing through. Driver's license registration, please. And a lot of the times they like to ask questions that they have no business asking. Where are you from? Where are you going? Is this vehicle yours? They like to ask a bunch of questions that has nothing to do with them just pulling you over because you were speeding or your taillight was broken. My taillight being broken, not working, has nothing to do with where I'm coming from and where I am going. But you don't get upset and start being flustered because they can use it as a tool against you. So you don't get upset and start saying, no disrespect, officer, but you don't, even if you're saying it well-mannered, stop watching those videos where white people try to tell other white people or try to tell everybody how to interact with police officer and get away in a stop. It does not work for black people. Okay, I'm sidetracking from this story a little bit because this is a moment that I need to use to educate. These things do not work for us. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. Be well-mannered throughout the entire stop. It'll make you feel as if you are less than them because that is the way they will handle it. And you know your rights, but you are trying to save your life, to live to fight another day. Okay. Now, back to this story. So the police officer fired through the window. Police said in a statement that the woman was pronounced dead at the scene. The Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office identified her as 28-year-old Atitania Jefferson. The officer does not identify himself as a police in the video. So all she heard from outside her house was, "Put your hands up. Stop. Show me." Actually, what she heard in the video, and this is the exact words said in the video, "Put your hands up. Show me your hands." And then he fires. So this officer in the video did not identify himself as police. "I am the police. This is the police department. We are out here at your house. Put your hands up where we can see them." So from outside my window, I hear someone yelling commands to put my hands up and show me their hands or show them my hands. And I'm not sure who it is because I didn't call any police and you're on my property. The Tarrant County Medical Examiner Office identified her as Atitania Jefferson. The officer did not identify himself in the video as a police. Police said that the officer has been on the force since April of 2018 and was placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of an investigation. So he had been on the force since April of 2018 and we are in October of 2019. So a year and a half on the force and he kills a innocent individual, an innocent civilian gunned down in her house by a cop who's only been on for a year and a half. Officials have not released the officer's name. In the statement, police said that the responding officer saw a person near the window inside the home. That's not a crime. You're inside of your home. And it is their duty to find out who was inside the home near the window. And was it necessary to use deadly force? As far as they knew on the call that they received, someone lives there. This is not supposed to be an abandoned property. So in the statement, the police said the responding officer saw a person near the window inside the home. The officer fired the single shot after perceiving a threat, the statement said. The body cam video also included images of a gun inside the residence. But it's unclear if the firearm was found near the woman. Let me stop again and say this. This is getting way out of hand because all they have to do is perceive a threat, fire, shoot, kill, even if it's in your own home, and they are going to beat the charges. The neighbor, whose name is James Smith, who initially called the police, told the Telegram that he was just being a good neighbor. "I'm shaken," he said. "I'm mad. I am upset. And I feel it's partly my fault," he said. "If I had never dialed the police department, she'd still be alive right now." Smith said that Jefferson and her 8-year-old nephew typically lives with an older woman who's been in the hospital. "It makes you want to call the police department. It makes you not want to call the police department," the neighbor said. So this woman that they just killed, she and an 8-year-old kid normally lives at this address with an older woman who's been in the hospital. Okay, so there's also a 8-year-old in this house. Did the police know all this before they arrived and started searching from outside and then fired a shot through the window? Is this normal police procedure when you are called to the residence for not a threat, but for a wellness check? Is it automatic to just go snooping around the property on a wellness check? Or were they supposed to knock on the door first, which makes more sense to me, and try to find out, is there anyone inside? Is everyone okay? Because you might have had someone come to the door and said, "Oh yeah, officer, what's going on?" "Ma'am, do you live here?" "Yes, I do." "Oh, you left the door open." Oh my gosh, we didn't see the door was open. "Thank you, officer." "Okay, you mind showing us some identification before we go, just so we can say that we ran into the right person here and you were in the house and everything's okay?" "Sure, officer, here's my ID." "All right, then. Make sure you close your door, okay? Anything can happen out here. Have a good day." That's how it's supposed to go, I would think. Not circling the property, snooping through windows, and end up, "Show me your hand." Pow! Firing a gun through a window at someone that's inside a residence. I want to see how they're going to make this look in court, because they always have creative ways. A local activist held a press conference on Saturday asking the city to hold the officer who fired the shot accountable. Pastor B.R. Daniel Jr. said that he wants the police department to stop what he called shooting first and asking questions later. They only do that with black people. I'm sorry. That shoot first, ask questions later stuff is only done with black people, and they only do it because they know that there are minimal consequences and repercussions, or none at all. There's a police officer who is Somalian by descent that lives in one of those states that was called on to a house, but his call was actually for physical violence on an individual. He ran to the back of the house while his partner ran to the front of the house, checked the door while he checked the outside of the property, because he was told on the call that perpetrator may still be on the property. See that? He had a reason to go check the back of the property. This police officer has since been fired. He's been charged with murder because he ended up shooting the person who owns that home. And it was a black police officer that shot a white woman. And now he is going to stand a murder trial. So let's see how this will turn out here. Will the playing field be equal? We want a review of policy procedures. This is the activist talking. How do you storm a house? Kill a young lady with an 8-year-old minor inside the house. Who would have been killed? Who could have been killed himself? And rightfully so. That 8-year-old could have been wandering around the house and walking by one of those windows when he heard, "Put your hands where I can see him." Pow! Authorities said that the body cam footage was released soon after the shooting just to provide a transparency for the public, but any video that is taken inside the house could not be distributed due to state law. The shooting comes less than 2 weeks after a white former Dallas police officer was sentenced to 10 years in prison for killing her neighbor inside his own apartment. That is Amber Geiger. Amber Geiger said during her trial that she mistook Botham Jean's apartment for her own, which was one floor below Jean's. Geiger, 31, was convicted of murder for Jean's 2018 death. And if you remember correctly, Botham Jean, a black male, was sitting in his house, 28 years old, sitting in his house, eating ice cream in his boxers and a t-shirt on his couch, watching TV with his laptop beside him, because I guess he would pause TV and do some work and then go back to TV with his ice cream. Single male, chilling, doing nothing wrong. And here comes this stranger into your house, which so happens to be a police officer, and fires and kills you, and then tells in court that, oh my gosh, I thought that was my own apartment, and an intruder was in there. An intruder was in your apartment sitting, eating ice cream and watching TV in his boxers, and the doormat with the big red doormat that his mom specifically bought for him because she said, man, all your doors look alike in your apartment. I want yours to stand out. I don't want you walking to somebody else's door or somebody walking to your door. So she got him a big old mat, big red mat to place before his door. And he did. And it was there. And when the videos were released and the pictures were released to the media, you could clearly see his door separated from others, differentiated from other doors from a mile away. Now, if Amber Geiger did not see that door mat because she was so tired from working a 16-hour shift that day, everyone who uses a key card or a key to get into a door, because of where a door lock is placed, you must look down in order to put that key in that door. You must look down in order to connect that card to that electronic scanner that would open that door. You must look down to hold that door lock to turn and push that door to go in, even if, as she claims, the door was already open. If my door was already open and I'm a police officer and I got to my house and my door is open, I am not just going to walk into my house. Okay? In looking down to see where to put the key to open the door, you would have seen that big old red doormat at your feet that you were standing on. I will leave it at that. She will be eligible for parole in 5 years, even though she got 10. And I'm sure with good behavior, she'll probably be out in 2 to 3. Anyways, leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. It's another one of these cases. It's another one of these cases. It happens all the time. There was another incident where police had a warrant to search a house. They hit the wrong house. Being a infantry soldier that had gone to combat, and I was boots on the ground kicking doors in, we would get intelligence that this is the house we're supposed to hit because so-and-so was hiding in this house. In the middle of the night, we would go hit the house. Hit the house means we're going to breach entry to that home and we are getting in. Women and children would be running around us inside the house. We would go tearing through the house, trying not to kill women and children, but to secure our target and remove that target from the house to hand that target over to intelligence. Now, here's the issue. A lot of the time, we hit the wrong house. A lot of the times, we did hit the wrong house. Of course, we went back later and we got the right house. And a lot of the times, we got intel from the wrong house that told us, like a guy we grabbed in one house would tell us, that's not me. That's my neighbor. He lives 2 houses from here. That's Assad. And then we would let 2 days go by, we would act like nothing happened, and we would replan the mission, and we would hit that house 2 houses over. Or, on that same night, we would hit the house 2 houses over, whichever way it was done. But we did hit the wrong house. In this particular case, when the police officers in the United States of America hit the wrong house, they ended up shooting a child that was laying in bed at her grandmother's house. And they hit the wrong house. There was no guns, no drugs, nothing in this house, no wanted individual. They just killed a child laying in bed. May I tell you that no one was charged, and they did get away with that as well. So yes, this happens all the time. Now, to my Caribbean audience, especially my Jamaican people, hear what? I know it's enough fun, you see? You know, I say blood fire, and I them something they want to go through a foreign now, and they go and like say foreign nice. Enough opportunity there for women. That's why enough of we come here. So I say we come here because we want to make better ourselves, and we find some opportunities where not available to us at home. I understand enough people say stuff like, yo, so why not just stay at Jamaica and build up Jamaica and them things there? Look for the things we don't have to face one time when we're there foreign lands. But I want to look for the things them where we have to face one time we're there yard too. Alright? Because the things them we have to face when we're there yard are nothing nice. Them boy are kill we off up here, so we own people them are kill we off when we're there we own yard. Especially if you make like a progress in a life, you have to guard up yourself and armor up yourself and put on a whole heap of grill upon your house and go on extra just to save yourself and can't go certain place and all kind of something. Yeah? So I just want y'all to know that one time you see your people them left, you see? If you're a praying person, say a prayer for them. Alright? If you're not a praying person, then hold that, just go and wish them the best, because it's not easy out there, it's sticky out there. That may I try to tell you now. Alright? And all I know who can't understand that still, if you can't understand that are overs that are meds that, then that I did for you. Everybody else don't know. Alright? Manners and respect, everybody. It's SouFLoTV. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Leave your comments in the comment section below. I'm out. Peace.